Well, good morning, folks. All I have to say, it was a fantastic Halloween with the walkthrough. It was a great turnout. Lots of people. Lots of people. So that was great. I've already started tear down. I got to tear down the inside of the haunt, which is in my garage. And then hopefully by Sunday, everything will be back where it belongs. At least some semblance of belonging somewhere, so that I can start living a normal life again. But yes, actually, I was talked about this before. So the guys are digging, putting in fiber. Actually, they're putting in a whole other fiber. So now we have 2 or 3 fibers. I don't know. It's ridiculous. They were done with my area the day before Halloween. So had I left out some stuff, I could have done the rest of my yard. But whatever. It was good. So hopefully they're done making a mess, unless a whole other fiber guy comes in. Everything, it has some minor glitches. One of my MP3 players stopped working, but I figured it out in the middle of the day, and I got it fixed. So let's just do a daytime. So this is the entrance, and my son was manning this door to try to control the crowds. Of course, haunt rules, whatever. And they would come in here. This is nothing really, and it was crazy to listen to people come in and just automatically be like, "Oh, it's just too scary. It's too scary." Like it's just an empty room with curtains. A pair of curtains. You open this up. Of course, here's the foam spray with the orange lights in it to represent some embers. Have some skulls up here and a little rat and some PVC candles. There's a skeleton hanging on the wall over here under some creepy cloth. Some more homemade candles, which I'm gonna repurpose. I'm gonna take these apart and try something different. I don't like the way they turn out. It was a rushed kind of thing. I'm still trying to visualize in my head what to do with them, but of course, I printed off a picture of the ghost host, and then it didn't turn out well. It was actually, you do the multi-print paper, like you print a bunch of 8.5 by 11s. And it didn't turn out. And then I started peeling the pieces off to just like, I'll save it for something else. And then I was like, it actually looks way better like this. So then, okay, sorry. Then you go around this way. This is a door for the actors to get from one side to the other. But it was closed at Halloween last night. And you go this way. And this was covered with a sheet, so you didn't see the garage door track. This doorway had Hallusion material in it. I actually use, I get it from Fabric Warehouse Direct. It's not Hallusion material. It's, it's a gray cloth. I can't think of the word. I may post it in the description. But yeah, I had a projection there. You go around the corner, red curtain. And then cockroach wall and centipedes and cockroaches, centipedes and cockroaches. Then I had a nice bright LED blue light that really lit up this room. I could hear the people react like, "Oh no, bugs, bugs!" And then you came into this room and there's tables covered with a black cloth and it had some stuff on it, just odds and ends. And this was the spider room, and I had this creepy cloth, cheesecloth stuff hanging up basically across the ceiling, and I had a whole bunch of spiders hanging up and everything. And then you got your standard spirit jumping spider, which got a lot of people. Very pleased with that. I'm glad that someone gave that to me. I've never been a fan of animatronic store-bought ones. This one I like. I like it. I like to build my own stuff, but I like the spirit jumping spider because basically it's just a jack-in-the-box. And then this was a hallway. These 2 wall panels here, you can't really see, were connected together to block off my workbench and whatnot. And then, of course, another cloth that blocked the view of the track for the garage door. And you went this way. And then you went into the organ room. Of course, creepy cloth hanging everywhere. Skeleton playing a pipe organ. And the candles were all lit up. And I had a flood lamp up here in the corner. And then I have this crate down here with a drill in it that makes a lot of racket. Now, I did have an actor halfway through the night but she had to leave. So, but I did come over on this side, work this side of the haunt, and I set the crate off a couple of times. Another ghost toast picture I hung up. Some other props, one of those silly candles, which I'm going to figure out what to do with. Creepy cloth, go around, another curtain. And then you come into this big room. Now, these following busts, a few people, they figured out you could, if you walk past them slow, you'd notice that they were staring at you, which was cool. And because they were so bright, when you came into this room, you couldn't really focus because you come from a dark room. So I could actually, people were I and my actor would stand in this corner and you wouldn't even see us because your eyes couldn't adjust fast enough. Got a few jump scares from that. So, and then I have the coffin with the lid that pops up and down like in the Haunted Mansion ride. Basically kind of similar look, coffin inside of a glass room. I need to look at the linkage on this. It did stay running all night, which was nice. The previous year, the motor would get hot and then shut off and then cool down. But I have a fan in there this time to keep it cool. But I need to look at the linkage that pushes the lid up, because as the night went on, the lid didn't go up as high, which means the linkage was bending down or something. So different kind of linkage. Of course, this is the other animatronic. I love the Addams Family. Ever since the 60s show. Actually, the 60s show to me is the Addams Family. The two movies that were done with Raul Julia and Angelica Houston and all that are also great. And the Wednesday series is fantastic. So I saw her in Lowe's when they first came out, and I was like, oh, wow, $250. I'm like, it's not happening. But I went back to get some more supplies for something else, and they had this stuff, everything marked down. She was 75% off. She was like $63, and I was like, whatever, she's coming home. Now, I have no idea how to store her. I don't know if she's just going to be out all year. But, sorry, I couldn't pass it up. So I have this animatronic, store-bought animatronic, and the jumping spider. And actually, people really freaked out when they came around the corner here and saw her here, because they thought she was real and everything. And she just stood there and did her dance to the same crazy tune, whatever. Oh, look, somebody ate candy in my haunt, even though I said no food. And then they would push this door to get out. Mental note, I got to take this handle off next time, because they try to pull the door. So if I take the handle off, maybe or I need to put a word that says push. And that was the haunt. And it's only about 400 square feet, but with all the turnbacks and whatnot and the curtains, I think it turned out really well. I had a lot of positive comments about it. A lot of people said it was really well detailed, even though I'm like, no, it wasn't. I got barely anything in here in my mind. I need to get a lot more pictures printed and mounted and whatnot. I would like to extend the haunt so that it goes up this way, possibly up into here. So you do a complete long run and then a long run back to lengthen it. I obviously can't go up into this area. I don't want anybody being underneath my model trains. But that's what it was. That was my haunt. I know I'm going to have to change it up. I would like these walls, I would like to make them look like morgue vaults, not vaults, but freezer doors. I'd like to build some of those on these. And I may do it on the other side, so to keep the depth of the wall down, because this is the inside where the framing is. I like to keep the walls at no more than 3 inches wide, because then I can store more. If I put something on the surfaces, it increases the width of the wall and it takes up more storage space. Other things I noted, like I used my staple gun to mount all my creepy cloth everywhere and my curtains, and I'm thinking, nope, I really, really need Velcro. I also need to, I just buying sticks, like 1x3 furring strips, and I just was buying them by the bulk, and I was just throwing them up there to brace this stuff. I really need to, and I don't know, I don't want to cut things to size, because then it kind of locks the haunt into one configuration. I really need to leave them at 8 foot. But I mean, obviously I'm going to have to change up the order next year, possibly. And just a little bit. Because you got to keep it different, because they'll come back next year and say, oh, it was the same thing, it's boring, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, middle note, Velcro, not as many staple gun staples, because now I'm having to use a screwdriver and pliers to take all that out, because I don't want any stray staples sticking out when I'm putting this away and I cut my hand on it or whatever. That's no good. So, yeah, that was my haunt. I don't know. I have no idea how many people came through. I'm going to go with 200 people. I don't know how many. I'll say probably 100, 150 came through the haunt, actually. I'd say 200 people probably came to the haunt because, again, this is a neighborhood, so I had a bunch of kids. I did have at least 6 kids get to where the fireplace was and call it quits and want to go back out because they were too scary. And I heard a few kids that were crying, which I count as a plus. You know, oh yeah, don't forget to hang your fire extinguishers if you're doing a home haunt. Got to be safe. But yes, there were at least half a dozen kids who had to back out and go back out. Got a bunch of good jump scares. My throat's a little sore. Drank me some Emergen-C this morning to, you know, make myself feel better. And I also like the configuration I did across my driveway with my columns and the gate and everything, because before it was just a display, my driveway was just wide open and the columns were in the yard. But this, I love this. I would like to build new columns for next year, but I'm starting to just meander and rambling now. But yes, I like the configuration on the driveway because it made you feel like you got to enter an outer area and then you got to enter the haunt. So I think it added to the experience. But that was the mortuary. I've stopped saying Blount Mortuary because most everybody in the neighborhood just calls it the mortuary. It's the mortuary for 2024. I have other video and stuff I need to clip together and clean up and whatnot. But I hope everybody else had a great Halloween, had a good turnout. So that is the mortuary, over and out.